Assalamualaikum and a very good day to Madam Juliana. We are from Group 1 and today we will be presenting our group project written report. For this assignment, we have chosen topic 1, Family Financial Stories Intergenerational Insights. In this presentation, we will share the financial stories and key lessons gathered from interviewing our own family members, highlighting how financial habits and wisdom are passed from one generation to the next. Before we begin, let me introduce our group members and the flow of today's presentation. I am Faezah binti ZULKIFLI, and after me, the presentation will continue with Muhammad Faris Fakhrullah bin Mustafa, followed by Dania BATRISYIA binti Muhammad Handary, then NURIN ALISYA binti ABDUL Rashid, and next is ATHIRAH SYAZANA binti Muhammad ZARIN, and finally Muhammad HAZIM bin ABDUL RANI. Each of us will share our own section of the project in sequence.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. For this part, I will present the project overview of our study titled The Family Financial Story Intergenerational Perspective. The main focus of this project is to examine money practices and lessons across different generations within families. Every family has their own unique way of earning, managing and investing money, influenced by their experience and the economic context of their time. The purpose of our project is twofold. First, to document and analyze the financial story we collected so that the wisdom from older generation is not lost. And second, to gain new insight into how financial management is viewed and practiced across generations. This project is significant because it connects financial theory that we usually learn in class, like budgeting, saving and investing, with the real-life experience of family members. For example, older generation often prioritize consistent saving and safe investment such as amanah saham bumi putra or tabung haji. In contrast, younger generation are more likely to use budgeting app, seek side income or plan finances around life event. This difference shows us not only the impact of age and life stage, but also broader economic challenges like inflation and rising cost of living. To achieve this, each group member interviewed 2 family members from different generations. Altogether, we gathered 12 interviews, including perspective from parents, grandparents, and young adult siblings. From this interview, we were able to build a more complete picture of family financial behaviors. We identify areas of common practices, unique approaches, and important lessons that can be adapted and applied to our financial decision today. This finding form the foundation for our final report and this group presentation. Okay, now we're moving on to the next part, which is the project description. Our project went through several stages, starting from planning until the preparation of deliverable. In the planning stage, we first developed a consistent set of interview questions. These were carefully organized into themes such as personal background, spending and saving habit, financial challenges, investment experiences, and also advice for young people. By using the same core question, we ensured that the response could be compared effectively across generations. The next stage was data collection. Each member of the group interviewed 2 family members from different generations. Some interviews were conducted face-to-face, while others were done online through WhatsApp, Google Form, or video call. To make sure participants were comfortable, we also provide bilingual response option in English and Malay. This approach helped us capture richer and more authentic stories, as respondents could express themselves in the language they preferred. After collecting the data, we moved to the analysis stage. Our response were compiled into a shared Google document where we reviewed and compared the findings together. Through this collaborative analysis, we identified common themes such as the importance of emergency saving, challenges with housing loan, medical expenses, and the cost of children education. This step allowed us to move from individual financial story to broader collective lesson. Finally, the deliverable stage focused on presenting our finding. We prepared a written report to summarize the result, Canva graphic, and chart to make the finding visually clear, a group presentation to share the result orally, and a short video that highlighted participant quote and documented our overall project journey. To sum up, our project combined qualitative inquiry, teamwork, and creative presentation. By documenting these financial stories, we not only preserve intergenerational wisdom, but also highlight financial lessons that remain practical and timeless for young people today. So that's all from me. I will pass it to the next.
Hi, I'm Dania and I will present about objective and expected outcome. Interview 1 was with Zaharia and Nurul Afrina. Zaharia focused on budgeting household needs, insurance, ASB and tabung haji, while Afrina concentrated on clearing debts before saving. They discussed challenges such as a regulating house due to location and cost issues. And they emphasized wise decisions like selling property at the right time and saving through tabung haji. A key takeaway was the importance of living within one's means, making commitments wisely, and giving back to parents. Interview 2 involved Muhammad Handary and Arisha Sofia. Having lived through 1997 recessions, Handary highlighted the importance of insurance, ASB, and long-term financial planning. Sofia, on the other hand, managed her student life with small-scale savings, budgeting, and cutting unnecessary expenses. Their advice was to never spend more than you earn, save regularly, and set priorities early in life. Interview 3 features Sarima and Nurul Fatiha. Nurul Fatiha both started with modest incomes and rely on strict budgeting and saving. Sarima invested in gold to safeguard against inflation, while Fatiha managed her allowance by focusing on needs instead of wants. Their lesson was to save early, avoid peer or social media pressure, and build financial independence for a debt-free life. Interview 4 was with Muhammad ZARIN and Nur Azlina, who managed the finance of a large family. They share experience of handling education costs, property investment, and loan repayment. Their approach showed that financial discipline and early investment in property and ASB can ensure long-term stability and peace of mind. Interview 5 involved Mustafa and Widyawati. Mustafa balanced expenses with loan, budgeting, and ASB investment to support family and education, while Widyawati focused on consistent saving, frugality, and discipline. Together, they highlighted the importance of emergency preparedness, regular saving, and starting financial discipline at young age. Lastly, interview 6 was with ABDUL RANI and JULIANA. ABDUL RANI concentrated on saving, emergencies, and investment in ASB and tabung haji for education, while Liana practiced daily budgeting and saving for small emergencies. They emphasized saving before spending, avoiding debts, and planning early for financial security. In conclusions, across these 6 interviews, parents generally prioritize long-term stability through investment, insurance, and family needs, while the younger generation focus more on budgeting and handling day-to-day commitments. Overall, the lesson highlight the value of saving early, financial discipline, emergency preparedness, and leaving good money habits for future generations. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. My name is ALISYA and I will be presenting about our project timeline. Our group managed this project over a period of 6 weeks. We divide the work into clear stages to make sure everything was organized, balanced, and complete on time. In week 1, we began with the project kick-off. Here, we assign roles to each group member, finalize our topic, and create interview questions in both English and Malay to ensure they were clear and suitable for our respondent. In week 2, we carried out the interviews with our chosen family members. Once the data was collected, we compiled all the responses and began our early analysis to identify them and insight. In week 3, our focus shifted to drafting the report. This includes writing important sections such as the project overview, objective, and findings, which form the foundation of our final report. Moving to week 4, we focus on editing and proofreading. We refine the report for clarity and consistency, while also finalizing the references and appendix to ensure it meets academic standards. In week 5, we prepared for our presentation. We designed visual, complete the slide, and also record a video presentation to showcase our findings in a more engaging way. Finally, in week 6, we conduct a full review. At this stage, we reflect on the lessons we had learned, suggest future improvements, and submit both the written report and video presentation. In summary, our project timeline highlights not only good time management but also strong teamwork and collaboration. By dividing tasks week by week and staying consistent, we were able to complete this project successfully and in a professional manner. This structured timeline ensured that our journey from planning to final submission was smooth and meaningful.
Hi, I am ATHIRAH and I will be presenting the student contributions and project documentation for our group project. This table shows the role and responsibility of each member and how we divided the work fairly among the team. First, we have Faries, who interviewed his father and mother. He wrote the project overview and project description, and he also acted as the project coordinator. Next, Dania interviewed her father and sister. She worked on the objective and outcome sessions and was in charge of documentations. Then ALISYA interviewed her mother and sister-in-law. She contributed to the project timeline and visual and media sessions, and her role was media collections. As for myself, ATHIRAH, I interviewed my father and mother. I prepared the student contributions and project documentations, and I also handled the report formatting. Next, Anis interviewed her mother and sister. She focused on the interview finding and analysis sessions and designed the visual and cover slide. Finally, HAZIM interviewed his father and sister. He completed the reflection and lesson learned as well as the future improvement session, and his other roles was video editing. In conclusions, each of us contributed by interviewing family members, writing specific sessions, and taking on additional roles. This fair division of work highlight the teamwork and cooperation within our group. Next, I will be presenting the project documentations. Here are the interview sessions conducted by our group members with their family. Each of us interviewed 2 people, and these sessions provide valuable insight for our project. Now, I will explain the challenge that our group faced throughout this project. Every project has its own set of difficulty, and this project was no exceptions. Although we worked well together as a team, we still encountered the several issues that tested our communications, time management, and problem-solving skill. The first challenge was difference of opinion within the group. In the early stage, we had disagreement about which project topic to choose. Some members wanted Project 1, which is a family financial story, while others prefer Project 3, Financial Literacy Quiz Bowl. This led to long discussions before we finally agreed to proceed with the Project 1, since it was more suitable and closely aligned with the assignment requirements. The second challenge was that some family members were uncomfortable being interviewed. They were worried about privacy, especially when being recorded. To overcome this, we reassured them that all information will be kept confidential and used only for academic purpose. This allowed us to complete the interviews while still respecting their concerns. Our third challenge was a parents' busy work schedule. Because of their work commitments, it was difficult to find a suitable time to conduct the interviews. As a result, the session had to be arranged during limited time slot, which required us to be more flexible in managing our own schedule. Finally, we faced generational difference in response. The older generations give a detailed answer based on long financial experience, while the younger generation provide shorter and less in-depth response. This difference made the analysis more challenging, as we had to balance the information to ensure consistency across generations. In conclusions, although this challenge made the project more difficult, we managed to overcome them through teamwork, cooperation, and mutual understanding. Hi, I'm Anis, and now I will be presenting the interview questions that we prepared and used for our family interviews. Each of us interviewed 2 family members, giving a total of 12 respondents. Before we begin, we created a structured set of questions to make sure every interview collected the same key information. We grouped these questions into 5 main sections. So, first, we asked about personal background. The question was, can you please tell me your name, age, and relationship to me? And what was your first job and what kind of income did you have at that time? So these questions help us understand each respondent's early working life and their link to us. Second, we explored their spending and saving habits. How did you usually manage your money every month? For example, spending, saving, or budgeting? And another question is, did you set aside money for savings or emergencies? Why or why not? So these questions focus on their day-to-day money management. And third question, we want to learn about financial experience and lessons. So the question was, what was the biggest financial challenge you faced in your life and how did you handle it? And second, what is the best financial decision you have ever made? And third one is, did you ever invest, for example, in ASB, tabung haji, shares or property, and how was the experience? So this section helped us discover key decisions, struggles, and valuable lessons. So the first section asks for advice for the next generation. So the question was, what important money lesson would you like to share with young people today? And the second, if you could go back in time, what would you do differently in managing your finances? So their answers give us direct guidance for our own financial planning. And lastly, we focus on their future outlook. So the question was, what is your hope or wish for the financial future of our family? So this question captured their long-term hopes and dreams for family financial well-being. So in summary, these 5 sections of interview questions, personal background, spending and saving habits, financial experience and lessons, advice for the next generation, and future outlook, provided a strong foundation for gathering consistent, meaningful insights, and these well-structured questions set the stage for the findings and analysis that I will present next. Next, I will be presenting the interview findings and analysis. For this project, each of us interviewed 2 family members, giving a total of 12 respondents across our group of 6. I will share the key insights drawn from all these interviews and show how their financial habits connect. Starting with my own family, I interviewed Mrs. Zaharia binti Ismail, my mother, and Nurul Afrina binti ZULKIFLI, my sister. Both highlight the importance of budgeting, saving, and having a backup plan through ASB and tabung haji. Second, Dania interviewed Mr. Muhammad Handary bin Safian, her father, and Arisha Sofia binti Muhammad Handary, her sister. They emphasize careful spending, emergency savings, and starting to save as early as possible. Third, Alisya's interviews were with Mrs. Sarima binti Adnan, her mother, and Nur Fartiha binti Ibrahim, her sister-in-law. They stress budgeting, tracking expenses, and investing in gold for long-term security. Fourth, ATHIRAH interviewed Mr. Muhammad ZARIN bin Abulis, her father, and Mrs. Nur Azlina binti Matsah, her mother. Both valued consistent saving and wise investing in shares, property, and ASB. So, fifth, Faris spoke with Mr. Mustafa bin Rashid, his father, and Mrs. Widyawati bin Ayub, his mother. They highlight emergency savings, fragile living, and investing in gold and property. And lastly, Hazim interviewed Mr. Abdul Rani bin Muhammad Saleh, his father, and Juliana binti Abdul Rani, his sister. They focus on saving before spending, building emergency funds, and avoiding unnecessary debt. From these 12 interviews, 4 key financial principles consistently stood out. First, budgeting and saving. Everyone stressed the need for a monthly budget and regular savings. Second, emergency funds. Almost all had experienced situations where a safety net prevented debt. And third, investing early. ASB, tabung haji, gold, and property were common choices to build long-term security. And lastly, financial discipline, living within means and distinguishing needs from wants. The pie chart shows these 4 key themes and their overall weight across all 12 interviews. First, budgeting and saving is the largest slice at 30%, representing about 4 respondents. This means almost 1/3 of everyone we interviewed placed their strongest focus on making a monthly budget and saving consistently. Second, emergency fund and investing early each take up 25%, or roughly 2 respondents each. This shows that preparing for unexpected costs and building long-term wealth are equally critical priorities. Third, financial discipline forms the remaining 20%, around 2 to 3 respondents. While smaller, it is the foundation that supports all the other practices, because budgeting and investing can only work if spending habits remain disciplined. When viewed together, the chart shows how planning and saving form the backbone of financial security, with emergency preparedness and early investment reinforcing it. In conclusion, the combined voice of Mrs. Zaharia, Nurul Afrina, Mr. Muhammad Handary, Arisha Sofia, Mrs. Sarima, Nur Fatiha, Mr. Muhammad Zarin, Mrs. Nur Azlina, Mr. Mustafa, Mrs. Widiawati, Mr. Abdul Rani and Juliana reveal one message: plan early, save consistently, invest wisely and stay disciplined. These real-life lessons from our own families provide powerful guidance for anyone seeking long-term financial stability.
Now, I will be presenting section 9, Visual and Media. On the left side, as you can see, the pie chart shows the respondent saving habits. The largest share is 14% goes into ASB and Tabung Haji, which reflects strong trust in safe and reliable saving. Then, gold makes up to 20%, showing its role as protection against inflation. However, education saving and emergency fund each account for 15%, while 10% have minimal or no savings, which is a financial concern. The top right box shows the most common financial advice passed between generations. The advice that appeared most often was to save early and budget wisely. Other repeat lessons were to build an emergency fund, avoid unnecessary debt, and distinguish between needs and wants. And family also recommend investing in ASB, Tabung Haji and gold to providing that practical and disciplined habits are the most valuable financial lesson. The bottom right box highlights financial challenge faced by different groups. Students and young adults often struggle with limit allowance and daily costs. Working adults and parents face inflation and rising expenses, while the parent generation deals mainly with loan and debt repayments. So, this challenge may differ by age, but they all emphasize the need for careful planning and saving. In conclusion, the visual clearly show that families rely on safe saving, but there are still gaps when people save too little. So, the strongest lesson across generation is simple: start saving early, budget wisely, and prepare for challenge at every stage of life. That's all. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Muhammad HAZIM bin Abdul Rani, and I am going to present to you about the reflections and the lesson learned from this project. So, what did we learn from this? First, we noticed that different generations have both similarities and differences. No matter the age, everyone agrees on the importance of savings, budgeting, and preparing for emergencies. But when it comes to spending and risk-taking, younger people were more willing to explore investments, try new opportunities, and also spend more on experiences, while older family members were more careful and focused on long-term stability for their own household. From this, we learned that financial choices are shaped not just by income, but also by life stage, personal values, and past experiences. These insights reminds us to balance risk and opportunities while still having a backup plan for stability in the near future. We also gained a lot from working together as a team. It wasn't easy as some of us couldn't meet relatives in person. So we used quick calls and video interviews instead, which sometimes had connection issues, but still worked out. We had to manage time, share tasks, and really listen to each other's ideas. But in the end, the project showed us that good teamwork, just like good financial planning, needs communication, discipline, patience, and trust to succeed. So after looking at our reflections and the lesson learned, the next part is about the future improvements that we could do to make this project even better. So, what can we do to make this project even better in the future? First, expanding the age range of those interviewed will give us a much more complete picture of financial behavior. Most of our interviews focus on parents and young adults, but if we also include teenagers, earlier career workers, and those who have retired, we could also see how financial choices shift over time and how priorities change across different life stages. Second, gathering more detailed financial data would make the analysis much more stronger. The stories we collected were useful, but actual numbers like budgets, saving percentage, loan repayments, or investment returns would help us identify clearer patterns and compare generations more effectively. It will also give the result more weight by showing exactly how money is being managed. Lastly, using better recording and analysis tools would improve the accuracy and save much more time. Since some of the interviews were done on video calls, we faced unstable internet and unclear audio, which made the reviewing harder. With tools like transcriptions, apps, or structured online surveys, future groups could capture responses more clearly and analyze them more smoothly. Overall, these improvements would make the projects much more easier, richer, and more reliable.
And that's all for our presentation. On behalf of Group 1, we would like to express our gratitude to Madam Juliana for your time and guidance. Thank you for listening.